Hi, folks. Thanks for joining the Bitcoin Millionaire show of the Bitcoin Conspiracy Theory. I'm Bitcoin Millionaire Doug Covert. I'll be your host. I got a lot to talk about. I need a lot of reverberation and feedback from you as the audience because this is your show. It's not mine, it's yours. It's about you, about things that are going on around the world, and the theory behind how Bitcoin even came about. So let's get right into it, shall we? Berkshire Hathaway. Stocks trading at $320,250 per share for one. How dare Buffett be that expensive, that greedy old man? Actually, I kind of like him, to be honest with you. But January 17th of this year, 2020, peaked out at $347,400 a share for one. My. World's, not US, world's most expensive stock. Now, comparing that $347,400 to the next most expensive stock in the universe is a meager $4,175. Puny. And I'm talking about NRV. So that puts Bitcoin, our boy, at number 2 by a landslide. Anyway, Buffett needs to go on a buffet and spend some of his money because I'm getting tired of his butt because he's so expensive. He needs to spend some money. But it just goes to show something, people. Everybody out there seems to think, well, I should everybody else. People seem to think that Bitcoin isn't real money. Well, how so? Well, bottom line is you can spend it. Now, if you look at the next highest stock in the world, it is another US stock. It's Seaboard Corp, SEB, $3,450 a share. Amazon, of course, $3,250 per share. That's some simoleons right there. And of course, Book Holdings. Well, Book Holdings has always been a staple food, high-end cost stock, but BTC's at 27,000, not at 3,200, right? Now, these are $2,000 to $4,000 a share stock, and suddenly there's this huge jump of this giant SOB, which we'll use, it stands for super odd boy. Let's use that terminology. But he peaks at $347,400. I mean, come on. Here's why I bring this up about the conspiracy theory. Now think about this. People think Bitcoin's a bunch of BS. They think it doesn't have real value and it isn't money. Hey, I've purchased things with it already. I have. Bitcoin Millionaire. I've done it. Okay? You understand? I'm not going to purchase anything anymore. I'm done with that. I'm going to sandbag it for the next couple of years. But here's the reality of BTC conspiracy theory in the show. If a stock, which can go up or down, unlike the dollar, which we've already talked about in my previous video, if a stock can get up to $347,000 a share of Berkshire Hathaway, which is not money, it's stock. If it can go up that high and you cannot spend it, you got to sell it first to even use it or consume it. What makes you think BTC can't go to 300,000 or 800,000 or a million large? It can, and it will. And I'm going to tell you, it will best Berkshire Hathaway as the next most expensive stock by thousands of times. So you really think about it, stock, it's not money. It's not money. NRV, 41.75 US dollars. BTC, 27,000. Berkshire, $347,000. Now you can bet your sweet bippy that Bitcoin has the capacity to usurp Berkshire Hathaway since it's real money. It's not a stock. Not kinda, not sorta. Not maybe. You'll see. Because this is money. He has stocks, Berkshire, right? This is not a stock, period. So do me a favor. Go to Berkshire Hathaway, get your stock, right? Go get that piece of paper and go down to Walmart and purchase something with it. Oh, whoa, what are you talking about, Bitcoin Millionaire? Wait a minute, you can't. Oh, huh. But with Bitcoin, it's a tangible, instantaneous fund now, not later. Has reality behind it, real purchasing power. Stocks go up and down multiple times, right? Just goes to show that if a stock can hit $347,000 per one, Bitcoin can as well, because it's specifically designed by nature. And it wasn't created for any other reason. It was designed to disrupt the monetary policy of all world currencies. It's not a one-trick pony either. That is its main inheritance. So it's not just the dollar that it's going after, but every country on the planet. It's going to do just so. It's really to shut down the governments who print money. And they enslave us and take away with their unholy given godly power. And they take it away, and Bitcoin's going to give the power to the people. Now, you know, Jefferson, and I'm talking about Thomas Jefferson, the second president of the United States, he had it right. He wanted good for all and enlighten the people. But the government said, whoa, 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 Thomas, you got it all wrong. We must enslave them and put controlling measures over them and rule them. You know, Thomas Jefferson really only had one example because he was president number 2. He only had Washington in front of him, right? So you got to think about that for a minute. He wanted good for the people, for the governments to serve the people. And it was, they serve us. Now, he was sickened with this abuse of power and corruption. He was only president number 2. How much corruption could there be? There was only one guy in front of him. I want you to imagine that for a little minute. This is documented in history books. This isn't my words. You can read this for yourself in history books, not just this crap on the internet. He was a really good guy. You know what he ended up doing? He quit. That's right. Look it up. No joke. He quit the presidency. He said, I quit, because he didn't agree with them hurting other people for their benefits. What a guy. Huh. That's nowhere to be seen today. You know, when we're talking about, you know, money versus the way that they did barter and trade. Of course, that's what money is. It's just a purchasing power of barter and trade. It's a currency. It's a utilization. It's a utility. It's utilitarian. They used pumpkins for apples, right? They didn't use, that's a differentiation of a currency. Or currency is just, it's a utilitarian purpose. A federal government has a control moderately, but the Federal Reserve is the ones that do the quote unquote printing, all right? So when the Federal Reserves release funds to the central banks, and we're going to cover this in another video, we're not going to do it here, but when they keep releasing funds to the central banks, it devalues the dollar, which it needs to go to zero for a reason, and it will. The United States is the world power, and if it crumbles, look, I hate using cliche sayings because I'm above that, right? But you know, that's not what our channel's all about, guys. But I'm going to say it because it's very befitting and it's very appropriate, because I can't really differentiate this in a better light. As the world power US crumbles in its monetary policy and system, the domino effect will ensue. And all other countries will fail as well. If we don't trade with other countries as the world power, then other countries will fall down. Some may say, no, they can just trade within themselves. No, you don't understand. All of us are tied unitedly by how many things? One, we all speak the same language, right? We all have the same religion. Of course we do, you know? We eat the same foods. Money is the only one thing that ties the world together. That's the only thing. And since it's going to go down, it's going to take everything else with it. We're all interconnected monetarily. So once the giant United States starts to fall, all are going to follow suit. And that's just the way it is. Here's my point. Hathaway shares right now are standing at 320,000 a share. Well, I'd love to have 50 of those, wouldn't you? You can't do anything with it. You can sell it off and then you can utilize it, but stock itself you can't do anything with. You can't buy anything with stock. You can't. You look at it. But BTC, it can do something, multiple things. And when the money system goes to kaput, or at least very, very, very low at this point, once it goes to kaput, it's a different story. And it will go, it will. That's where BTC comes in and takes place of all governments, and it will. The governments themselves are going to look for a way out. And here's what's going on. Governments are looking for a way out, and Bitcoin will go up 1, 2, 3. You will see. See, the banks know banks, you get it? The insurance companies, they know that the banks are failing. Mass Mutual's 169 decrepit years old. We ain't that old, you and me. They bought $100 million, not one or 10, $100 million of BTC. Why? Because they know the deal. Banks are also buying Bitcoin because banks know that banks are failing. What does that tell you, friends? The flow of money is being slowed and devalued. The funny and interesting thing about money is that it's an ecological system, not just an economical system. Now, ecology means it tends to benefit or maybe even cause minimal damage to the environment. Now, our environment is very much being harmed just the way our money issues are. Simply put, you ever had a hula hoop when you were a kid? Unless you're a millennial or less, you probably don't know what it is, but if you do, that's great too. It's taking a large plastic band around your belly, and twisting it around and around and around, keeping the hoop upright, moving in a circular motion. And you keep it going by expending that energy continuously by motion. As soon as you stop that motion, the hula hoop drops to the floor and dies because the energy is no longer expended. To keep things going and the flow keep going, that's the same effect that money has. You slow or stop the money in one country, you're out. Prime example of this would be mailman or post office people. What do they get paychecks, right? They get paychecks to work there. In turn, they go home to their cozy little chateau. And what do? They turn on the light, pay the electric bill, power company. Well, people work at the power company. They receive that money. Those people work there. They get paychecks. What do? They got to go buy stamps, groceries. They need that to eat. So they go to the grocery stores. The grocery store sells the foods, and the workers there get a paycheck at the grocery store. And they buy fuel for their car. And then the gas station, the fuel people, you get my point. Money is circulated around the earth, not just the USA. So if the USA cannot import or export or utilize its money or slow things down where it's trapped within its own little realm, a bubble, if you will, then it loses the buying power. Those things come to a halt very quickly. Now, all those people, the postmen, the fuel people, the grocery store people, they all have to put their money in a bank. That's digitally transferring money to buy the other things that they wish to purchase. How so? Credit cards. Look it, no one writes checks anymore. The last time the Bitcoin millionaire wrote a check, I can tell you explicitly when. June 16 of 1999. I have not written checks. I do not buy checks. I do not use checks. And I haven't since 99, 21 years. Why? Everything's on auto bill pay. Credit cards are electronic digital transfer. Nobody cuts checks anymore. That terminology is the 80s. In the 90s, she was over. It's that done. And thus, enter Bitcoin. Here's the conspiracy theory that we all want to talk about. You see, Bitcoin eliminates not only checks, but MasterCard and Visa as well. Puts them right out of biz. They're going down. They're going to fall extraordinarily because they're extraordinarily greedy companies. And they're trying to rule over us. That's another means of BTC. It has stopping power, stopping of the taxation, stopping of ripping of off from fees, and stopping to take control. Oh boy, taxation. This is my hotspot. Believe me, I get heated about this one. Let's talk about that a little bit before Bitcoin comes into play. Let's say you make $20 an hour. Okay, 40 hours a week, you make it $800. So you get $800 a week. Then the government has the audacity, the cojones, to tax roughly 20% out of your check every week. So 20% of 800 is $1.60. And $1.60 from what, 800, I'm sorry. Well, that leaves you with your happy little arse with a lousy $640 take home a week. These are numbers, of course. So the $1.60 goes back to them. That means you take home $640, but you made it 800. So you know the Mercedes that you just bought last week. Do you remember? Huh? You remember? Huh. Well, they got a nice new set of houses that are being built down the street, right down the street from me, 3 neighborhoods down, no lie. I live in Denver, Colorado, I live in Aurora. I don't mind telling anybody that. They start at 750,000. Oh, that's just for the house. Got to add the land. You're looking at about $1 million large for a house there. Now, what I need you to do is go down there. Okay, I don't want you to. I need you. It's a need for you to go down there and pick up 2 or 3 of them. I'll wait. You say, what? Wait a minute. You can't do that, right? Why? You're only making $640 a week. You see how they enslave you to keep you poor, keep you on the bottom so they can stay on top? First of all, you make the $800, which isn't enough to even go to the bathroom, use shower, and you got to wipe your fanny on the carpet. So at least that's free, right? And then they want to take the money back that they gave to you. They want to keep you poor. They don't care about you, but I do, and I really do. They don't want you to have success. They don't want you to rise up. And this is where Bitcoin comes in, because their BS taxes is crap. Taxes are outright unconstitutional, period. Remember Thomas Jefferson's story we just talked about? They want to give you the lousy $800 and that's want $1.60 back. How about this? How about giving you the $640 and shut up? There shouldn't be any taxes. This is ridiculous. Once more, it's illegal to tax anything according to the Constitution. Always has been. Jefferson said so. It ain't my opinion. It's in there. That's what this channel is all about, the conspiracy theory, exposing the governments and the BS with their lousy, false, farting dollar that doesn't mean a hill of beans. It's only a piece of paper. You can't wear a piece of paper. You can't drive a piece of paper. You can't eat a piece of paper. You can't live in a piece of paper. It's just a means of barter and trade. It has no value. It's intrinsically zero. And these idiots want to give you $800 and take 160 back. Just give me the 640 and make like Michael Jackson and bait it. We don't need your tax. Yeah, but we need your tax, says the government. No, you don't. Just keep the tax. Don't stress me out every year, April 15th. And then I got to go through that garbage. It hurts you. It hurts them. It hurts everyone else. People go to great lengths to cheat on their taxes to screw the government. Not because of dishonesty, which it is. Okay. I condone that. But it's because they're struggling hard. You're giving them so little to begin with. And when they find out how much little they made it all year, and then they got to go at the end of the year to pay you $2,000 to $5,000 back at the end of the year when they don't even have it, why not just keep your money and don't tax us, you fools? I created an acronym a long time ago called IAC. IAAC. Everything in the world is IAC. It stands for It's All About Control. And it is. You're going to hear me refer to IAC many, many, many times on this show because it is truly so appropriate. It's all about control. They just want to control you. Once again, give me my 640, get the hell out of here. This tax stuff is stressing and I don't need it. Then I owe you at the end of the year. I thought I made enough to live. You're hurting America. You're hurting people. They do this in every country. That's America. So they want to demand that back from you, what you earned. It's all about IAC. But Bitcoin to the rescue, the conspiracy theory is put into place. Remember, it's designed. It's designed specifically to disrupt the monetary policy in which we live in every country, not US. It doesn't go after just the dollar. It doesn't. It's designed to give the power back to the people and stick it to the man like Jefferson wanted to, originating over 200 years ago, because he cared. Bitcoin levels the field. It levels it. So they cannot give you your money and take some of it back in taxes. Instead, Bitcoin gives you your money and you keep your money and use it as you see fit, period. One last thing. I'm going to get going. This was a quick video, but if you hate Bitcoin and love this system, shame on you, or if you hate the system and love Bitcoin, or hell, if you never heard of BTC at all and don't give a hoot, there's one thing in common every person on the earth has to agree on. Though the rich may seemingly get taxed less, they do make a whole lot more than us. And though the lower people get taxed seemingly much more, there's one thing we all agree upon. And that is what you make, you want to keep it, don't you? You don't want to give it away, right? All right. I want you to know, I need to know how you feel, not just how you think. I do want to know your thoughts all about this. how the system was designed to harm us. And it is because, sure as heck, they don't want us to succeed. I can tell you that. It's designed to harm us. It's not designed to help us in any way. I want you to leave comments. Tell me what you think about how you really feel. This is your show. It's not mine. It's your time to shine. It's an open forum, guys. I'm only doing this for something to do, right? All things are welcome here, and they're highly appreciated, and I appreciate you, and I really do. You hate Bitcoin? Tell me, and tell me why. You love Bitcoin? Tell me why. You don't know what the hell it is? Tell me why. But stay safe, my friends. On a sad note, I've lost 17 friends and family members and buried my aunt about 3.5 weeks ago into the ground from the monster that's out there called COVID. This is Doug Covert, Bitcoin millionaire, casting out on the Bitcoin Conspiracy Theory Show, your show. You guys have a great night.